What's your name? You smell like cheese. I like you.
That's probably not the best way to introduce yourself to a potential partner. Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing well. Today, I'm going to be going over some of the fragrances that you guys were wearing when you met your significant other. And I'll also go over the fragrance that I was wearing when I met mine. So a while back, I asked you guys on the community tab, hey, let me know what fragrance you were wearing when you met the person that became your significant other. And let me know a little bit about how that went down. And a lot of you did. So today I'm going to be going over 10 of your stories, 10 of your fragrances. And there are so many more that I'll try to get to in a future video. So if I don't have yours here today, hopefully I'll get to yours in the next one. So let's jump into it, guys. Let's check these fragrances out that helped you win the heart of your significant other. And guys, I'm going to be giving away a full bottle of my newest fragrance, Jet Black Enigma, done in collaboration with Michael Malone London a little bit later on in this video. I'll link this one below and the fragrances that I talk about today also. And if you pick this fragrance up from Michael Malone's website, use the code GENTSCENTS and save yourself 20% off. And that actually is good for the entire website, not just this fragrance, but this is the one you need right here. So I'll talk about this more a little bit later when we go over that giveaway. Stay tuned for that. So like I said, a lot of you guys told me your stories, told me the fragrances, and we're just gonna jump right in. First up, Udo. He was wearing Tom Ford Black Orchid when he met his wife for the first time in Scotland. He was there doing research after finishing grad school in the US. Mutual friend introduced her as someone that he should get to know when he was there. She was the first person that he met when he landed at the airport. So this is great because this is a really ballsy fragrance choice. You're meeting somebody for the first time that you're being set up to meet essentially at the airport of all places. And you rock with Black Orchid. Nothing wrong with Black Orchid, just this is a fragrance that a lot of people typically say you would wear only in specific situations and that you really need to have confidence to pull off, but obviously you do because it worked out for you. This one, in case you're unaware of it, is a truffle and floral fragrance. It's dark, it's rich. Some people would say that it's marketed toward women, but really it's unisex. Heck of a fragrance too. Packs a big old punch. So people are definitely going to pick that one up coming off your skin. That's not the type of fragrance that you spray on and, it's just this little whisper that maybe people get hints of. No, they're going to smell it. But obviously, worked out for you. So you, my man, have to be wearing that with a lot of confidence. And I guess that's why you got the lady. Right? Next up, JW. Hey Ash, I met my wife in college in Plattsburgh, New York. I asked her out on her birthday back in '99, bought her a dozen roses, and was wearing the OG Acqua di Gio. Only owned like 4 fragrances at the time. She said yes, went out to a nice dinner, came back to his dorm room and spent the night listening to music and talking until he had to go to class the next morning at 8 a.m. Been together ever since. That's what I'm talking about. And also, that's the power of Acqua di Gio. Now, I've talked about Acqua di Gio before a bunch on this channel. This was my signature scent for years. And like JW, at the time when I was really wearing this hardcore, I didn't own a whole bunch of fragrances. I had a really small collection. And this one was right at the front and center of it. I've talked about this before, but it was such a compliment monster back when it was still kind of new. If you had this on, it was just insane, the amount of attention that you would get, positive attention. So I went through bottles of this like they were water. I was just nonstop. And he definitely went about it the right way there. Asked her out on her birthday, showed up with the roses and the Acqua di Gio. I mean, at that point, you've stacked the cards so heavily in your favor. It's got to work out. And it did. Up next, we got Hector. It will be 26 years this month. Congratulations, that's crazy. And don't judge, but it was Ralph Lauren Safari. I'm not gonna judge that. Safari is awesome. Now nowadays, some people would maybe smell Safari and go, oh, yeah, it's dated. It smells like a dad cologne or something like that. But Ralph Lauren, back with Polo Green and then Safari after it, and some other fragrances that aren't around anymore, like Polo Crest or Monogram, those were really awesome. And Safari you can still find. So, I mean, there are still a lot of people rocking Safari. There's no reason to apologize for wearing or liking that at all. I mean, I loved Ricard Noir. So, I mean, I can't point fingers at anybody. I'm wearing like the yuppie juice of the 80s, man. Everybody had Ricard Noir. Everybody had their hair slicked back, just spraying on 52 sprays of that stuff, and I still enjoy it unironically. I'm like those hipsters who say that they love Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's me. Anyway, back then it was a hit, and the Polo line as well. You are correct about that. Nowadays, there's so much variety and options, it's hard to make up your mind when buying fragrances on a budget, but I appreciate what you do. It helps a lot. Thank you. Well, thank you. Hector, rocking with the Safari 26 years ago. Man of the times. So yeah, this was destroying back in the day, just like Polo Green did in its heyday, and I still like it. Up next, we've got Holocron. He was wearing Sauvage Eau de Toilette, and I can tell you there's probably a million other guys out there who have a similar story. Not that it takes away from yours, just Sauvage is everywhere. She told me later that one of the reasons she even accepted the second date was so that she could smell it again. All right. 3 years later, it's still her favorite fragrance in my collection. That's why people like Sauvage. One of the reasons anyway. Like Aqua de Joe back in the day, now it's this one. Imagine that she legitimately says one of the main reasons that you got a second date is because of this Sauvage. At that point, you need to write a letter to Christian Dior and be like, hey man, thanks. Like, seriously, did me a solid. People pleasers please the people. What can you say? I'm glad to hear it though. Andre up next. He was wearing a Versace Dreamer. It was his signature scent back then. She adores it even after 7 years of being in a relationship. In my opinion, she's a keeper. I gotta say, I agree with you. Should keep her around. It's been 7 years. Or maybe she's keeping you around. Am I right? Could be. I mean, Chelsea's just keeping me around. So Versace the Dreamer though is a love of mine. I really enjoy this fragrance. Chelsea, my wife, she bought me a bottle of this for our first Christmas together. I actually did not own a bottle of the Dreamer at the time. She went through everything and kind of made a mental note. And she actually went out to, I think, TJ Maxx, and they had bottles of the Dreamer. And she was like, pretty sure he doesn't have this one. She bought it and gave it to me that Christmas. And, you know, became one of my favorites. Sentimental reasons, yeah, but the fragrance is awesome too. Very unique. It's its own thing. Doesn't cost that much money either, and I love the bottle. So the Dreamer, fantastic, and obviously it did well for you. Up next, we have Michael. He was wearing Le Male Le Parfum, and they went to the cinema. Are you European, Michael? I'm just messing with you. It's just everybody around here, they would be like, we're going to the movies, let's go. I would be befuddled if like a fellow Southerner was like, hey man, I'm about to go to the cinema really quick just to catch me a movie. You know what I mean? And I'm just playing. Southerners don't all sound like that. That's low hanging fruit. But for real though, most people call it the movies around here, so could be wrong. Anyway, they went to the cinema and out for a meal, and they got on so well that they ended up chatting for hours. And then because of how well the chemistry was, they ended up booking into a hotel room, sat up chatting, and I'll leave the rest of the details. But it was lovely. Think I know what you're getting at there. Can't get anything past me, man. I'm big brain. Le Male Le Parfum though, obviously that turned out to be a pretty good evening, I'd say. So hopefully you guys are still together. Le Male Le Parfum is obviously a newer fragrance, so you guys would be in the earlier stages of your relationship. But obviously, like I said just a second ago, Le Male Le Parfum kind of helped get you across the finish line, we'll say. Honestly though, if the chemistry is that good that on the first date, you look at each other and you go, yeah, what do you think about just getting a hotel room? Then you hit it off. So congratulations, man. Awesome. Up next, we have CP Fraghead. Hey, Ash, I first met my wife when we were working retail at Sam's Club like 20 years ago. Been there. I worked, well, not Sam's Club, but I worked at Walmart for a while, so kind of similar. When I asked her out, my signature scent was the OG 90 scent Curve. Love that stuff back in the day. Hey man, who did not love Curve? How many people had this as their signature scent? half of the entire United States. That's an exaggeration, but probably not by much. This was everywhere, everywhere. Basically from junior high school, through college. It was like you always knew somebody or multiple people that were wearing Curve, and it did exceptional. Like, people loved the stuff. Also, didn't hurt that it wasn't very expensive and that you could find it at Walmart and places like that. You didn't have to go to, Macy's or Sephora or something like that. You didn't have to go to a higher end store. You could find it just anywhere. Pharmacies, yeah, they had it. Kmart, Target, assuming it existed back then, Walmart, all those places had it. And it sounds like here again that you guys have been going strong for a long time, so I'd love to see that. Up next, we have Assad. Hey Ash, met my wife through the internet whilst I was in the UK and she was in Canada. After a year of becoming online friends, she flew out to see me in the UK. It was summer and I was wearing Versace Eau Fraiche to the airport. Those airport meetings, man, gotta be a little bit nerve-wracking, meeting somebody for the first time like that. Obviously it went well though. That fragrance is her favorite for that reason, since that was the first time we had ever met in person. The following year, I flew out to Canada with my family and we got married. We are now happily married for 3 years and he's moving to Canada next month. Man, awesome. So good old Versace Eau Fraiche, and not a bad choice either. Summertime, meeting somebody for the first time and you just want to come across, clean and pleasant and fresh, a little bit sweet. Great choice. And again, obviously, it worked out. So we have two ends of the spectrum of people meeting at the airport for the first time. One fellow went with Black Orchid, just said, heck with it. This is what I'm wearing. This is what I'm rocking with. We're gonna do it. We're going full on, full force. And then Versace Eau Fraiche, so easy, so pleasant, so easy to wear. And it's really interesting that you've got the, two ends of the spectrum. Both of them worked out perfectly. Really is about what makes you feel comfortable, what you like smelling, what makes you feel more confident. That's what you should go with. So Assad, thank you for sharing. Fantastic. Hope everything goes smoothly and that you can get moved over to Canada here really soon. Up next, we've got Corey. He reconnected with a girl that he knew from years past. Sounds familiar, because that's what I did. I took her out one evening for ice cream and a walk on the beach, which turned out to be an incredible evening. And he's happy to say that they are still together, or he's still together with this lovely lady, I should say. The fragrance of the evening was Boss Bottled Intense. Let's pour one out for Boss Bottled Intense. Just pour one out. Boss Bottled Intense, one of the best flankers in the entire Boss Bottled line, if not the best. It's right up there and discontinued, which is kind of mind-blowing to an extent. I guess it didn't sell well enough for them to keep it around, but basically it takes Boss Bottled and then makes it better. Same DNA, just cranked up and tweaked and improved. Boss Bottled Intense though, lovely fragrance. If you enjoy the Boss Bottled line, you don't own that, try to pick it up before the prices just get insane, is what I would say. And Corey will tell you because he's still with that lovely lady. He was wearing Boss Bottled Intense. Worked out. Last up, we have Jake, and then I'll talk about what I was wearing and do the giveaway for Jet Black Enigma. Jake was wearing Curve Crush in the gray bottle, which unfortunately I don't own. It is really inexpensive though, so I'll probably have to go ahead and pick one up. That was his signature in high school and college, which is where they met, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Junior high, high school, college, Curve, or one of the offshoots, one of the flankers of Curve, lots of people wearing those for the reasons that I talked about before. He got compliments from everyone on it. Now he breaks it out every now and again, and when he does, she gives him those eyes. Still works almost 3 years later. All right. So Curve Crush doing awesome for Jake, obviously. Costs next to nothing, easy to wear. And like I've talked about earlier in this video, if it makes you feel confident, if you like it, if you enjoy it, wear it. It doesn't matter what the name on the bottle is. It doesn't matter what the price tag is. Ultimately, does it improve your life in some way? If the answer is yes, then wear the heck out of it. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway, and then I'll talk about what I was wearing when I met Chelsea, or I should say met her again, but we'll talk about that in a second. So the fragrance, like I said, Jet Black Enigma from Michael Malol. I creatively directed this bad boy right here. Code GENTSCENTS, get you 20% off, brings the bottle down to I think mid 80s, something like that. Again, all of these linked below, including this one right here. And we're gonna do a giveaway for a still sealed bottle right here. There it is. See, look at that, still sealed. So all you have to do to be entered in the giveaway is like this video, be subscribed to the channel. So if you aren't, hit the little subscribe button and leave me a comment below. In the comment, just let me know if you've ever tried any Michael Malone fragrances. That's all you got to do. Yes, no, if I did, here's what I did. That's all. In about 10 days, I'll pick a winner via random comment picker and post it up on the community tab of my YouTube channel. If you're subscribed, then when you log on to YouTube on the homepage, you should see it right there. If you're the winner, just hit me up and I'll ship out a bottle to you. Good luck. All right, we finally made it to me. So I went to high school with my wife. She was a couple grades below me, and we knew each other in high school, but then afterward kind of went and did our own things. And then we ran into each other one night out on the town back in 2012. And we hit it off, obviously, like right away, and things progressed to where they are now. And I was wearing a fragrance that at the time was still pretty new. Unfortunately, it's getting a lot harder to find nowadays, but at the time it was still, you know, new. It was still cool. It was fresh. And I think it is still a cool fragrance. I think it smells awesome. This was heading into fall, so it was a little chilly outside. I was wearing Pure Havana. Yeah, this one's been a favorite of mine for a long time, ever since it came out. I've said before that Pure Havana is one of my most complimented fragrances. It just seems to work fantastically off my skin. I've worn it to the office a lot and always had great reactions. And obviously this one worked out for me just as well as all these other ones worked out for you guys. So good old Pure Havana. There's a reason I love this one so much, other than just the fact that it smells awesome. Sweet pipe tobacco, I'm always there for that. So there we go, guys. 10 of the fragrances you were wearing when you met your significant other, along with mine. There are, I think, 160 some other comments on there with stories and the fragrances you were wearing. So I'll try to get to some of those in the near future and do another follow-up on this video. So again, if you're not in here, hopefully you'll be on the next one. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Good luck with the giveaway. Thanks for hanging with me today. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.